Okay, hello everyone, Victor Momo from Excel Moments, and in this video I want to show a creative use of the image function, which is in creating, dynamic organizational charts, or what some people may call, organograms. And when I say it's dynamic, it means that when the input changes, the output changes automatically. If you look at what you have on your screen, you would see in the cells that are filled with green what looks like, a job role or a job title. You can see the names of the individuals and you can see the images. If for any reason this is supposed to be the CEO and I put the CEO there, in a few seconds you will see the CEO's image appear. Here this shouldn't be the HR manager, say this is the head of legal, and then you see that appear as well. So you don't have to set anything up manually. Really set it up once, and if the person in role changes or the role of a person changes, automatically this picks it up. I know the same question is going on in everybody's mind, which is, Victor, how is this working? Well, I'll tell you. But before then, I want to appreciate those who have subscribed to my channel. Thank you, and thank you for the feedback you always provide. For those who haven't subscribed, thank you as well. And this is an opportunity for you to subscribe and turn on the notification bell icon so that when I post a new video, you'll be the first to know. So back to how this is working. If you look at what I have in here, it's really just a table, and it's a lookup table that has all the pertinent information that will make this work. You have the names of the individuals, some details about them, their role, and importantly a link to their image somewhere in the cloud, not on my machine. And once you use the image function over that link, it pulls the image in here. Okay, and you can see the corresponding images for each of those individuals. So there are two approaches here. On your organogram, you could decide to do a lookup to that column itself, which means that the images will be sitting here, and then with the lookup the images are also pulled in here, where you have the images in two places. Think about it from a size standpoint. The other option you have is you don't have this column at all, and on the other end you are doing a lookup and pulling in the link. Okay, and then based on the link you use the image function around that, and it pulls the image in for you, which means you have the image just in one location. But then again, of course, it always has to refresh. This is already in here, and then you're just pulling to the other end. So it's kind of a balance between the speed and refresh time and the size of the workbook. So depending on your own scenario, you would find whichever works best for you. I don't think that's the biggest issue. I think the bigger issue is, how do you make this work? Okay, so what I've done in my own case is to make sure that I have a primary key, which for me is my job roles. I'm assuming that in my organization, of course, no two people can have the same role, and it's my organization, so I have a right to do that. So it means that once I pull CEO, there's only one person who can be CEO. If I pull CFO, there's only one person that can be CFO. In your case, it's most likely going to be, a staff ID, which is unique, and based on the staff ID, you would have only one individual that returns. So if you remember the organogram here, like this, you have cells here where I have a drop down of all the job roles. So that's where we'll start from. So let's get a list of all the job roles. I can just do an equal, and then select the job roles, right? And this is here, but you can see that the data is not sorted. It may be nice to sort it, so it's easier to pull the name you want from the drop down list. Okay, so that's sorted. Now I can just decide to create a name, the name manager for that. So I do new, and I just call this roles list, and it's picking from cell I4. I put a pound sign here. This is just to say pick from I4 and everything in that spilled array. So when this table expands and more names are added to it, automatically those names would feature in my data validation. That's really what that's for. So do okay, and then we close. Now let's go in here to a blank one that I want to set up. So in all these cells that have a green fill, I want to have data validation in there. So I'm just going to hold Control, and select those cells. You could do it, just one and then do copy and paste. I mean, it's totally up to you, but anyway, you only expend this energy once, right? So I do Alt DL, which will pull up a data validation. I do Tab L, which means I want a list, and then here I could just do F3. It pulls up the names I have in my workbook for me, and I say rows list, and then I do okay. So automatically it means that in here I should have a list of all the, job roles, just testing any random one. Okay. All right, fine, good. So the next thing is now to pull, the name of the individual. So let's just select one role here. Let's say this is the CEO. So to get the individual, it's basically just an XLOOKUP. So look up, that role, because the role is unique in my case, right? And then look it up here and then return the name of the individual. In a case where nothing is selected, maybe we could just put, nothing, right? Okay, so let's copy this and then let's, paste across these cells, right? You could do a Control V once, all of them are selected. Well, that's how I've chosen to do it. Okay, so you see why the rest of them are blank, because they don't have any job roles. But once you put a job role, you can see the name, light up. Next thing will just be to pull, the image. But you know that what we have on the other end is the image link. So same thing, you kind of do an XLOOKUP, you look for, the job role, right? And then you come in here, you select the job role, and then we select the image link. Okay, good. Here, saying, oh, if it's an error, it doesn't help you much, because if you say it's an error, return blank, and you're going to feed this into the image function, you're still going to have an error either way. Either you're having a #any error or a #value error. So I'll close this. This is the link, but of course the link doesn't do me so much good. So I need to put the image around that image function, because it's the image I really need. Okay, right. And that's that. And what I can do is I can put an if error around this to say if it's an error either way, whether it's coming from the XLOOKUP or the image, don't show anything, right? And then I do okay. So I copy this. I think that's copied. I select this cell, Control select. This always happens. Okay, let's let me select this. I think it's the way I'm trying to use my keyboard and mouse. Anyway, let's just paste in as much as we can. If we miss one, we'll fix that. Good. So let's just put some job roles here. Okay, consultant 2. So let's come down here, just put what? Okay, graphics designer. Just fill this up. This is me just, keeping you guys here, watching me doing something very boring. Okay, but just to show that it's working right. Okay, and then let's maybe put a Scrum Master here or something. Okay, good. And that's really how you set it up. So once you have it done this way, if anything changes in the table, for any reason, so let's go, back in here. So if, Joe Biden ceases to be CEO, and let's say Muhammadu Buhari becomes CEO. So let's say this is CEO, and then he's now, COO. If you come here now, you can see that automatically, he's now the CEO, and then Joe Biden is the CEO. And then you can change, whoever you want to appear in any of these locations. Like here, let's say the CFO was supposed to be here, just come in here and then I say CFO, and then I have that working. So the heart of it really is the image function and the XLOOKUP function, and that's really how you get it to work. So just to give you an idea, you can actually expand on this and create something, more magnificent, if I may say. So if you like this video, please do hit the like button. You can also subscribe to the channel Excel Moments. For now, I'm out.